Hi everybody, Greg Russ with you for Motorsport New Zealand. Over the past 12 to 18 months, as you know, we've been catching up with various stars from the Kiwi motorsport scene, both locally and internationally. Stars that are both racing or rallying and in the front line, and some of those behind the scenes as well. We're delighted to welcome our first female guest now, and it's also a very important subject of conversation for us in this one. Emma Gilmour, g'day.
Hello.
It's nice to see you. Where did the love and passion for motorsport come from for you?
To be fair, I don't know if I ever really had a choice in it. My dad is a mechanic, so and my granddad was a mechanic on my mum's side. So I grew up around cars and just, I guess, thought that was pretty normal. And to be fair, my dad was always a pretty enthusiastic driver on the road. So wherever we went as children, we went pretty quickly. So I just got used to cornering and going fast and always really enjoyed it. I'd go pillion on his motorbike as well. So just always enjoyed cars, I guess. And then I was lucky enough how I started by navigating for my cousin who'd got an Evo 3 rally car. And then from that, I co-drove for my sister. And then I guess I'd had the opportunity then to do a little bit of club driving and racing. And then, got to have a go at the rallying. And then once I was in the driver's seat, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And
I love the family aspect to the story. That's terrific. Can you vividly recall the moment that you got behind the wheel in a competitive driver sense like that, and that realization kicked in about, wow, this is the sort of direction I'd like to take it?
Yeah, I mean, and it's still the buzz that gets me, because I've had a pretty tough couple of seasons racing, and when you get that buzz of the car, I suppose that feeling of the car just sliding on gravel and just dancing from corner to corner, and it's just like an extension of yourself, and it's just such a addictive feeling and such a buzz when you get it right. So that's what keeps me coming back for more, is that that buzz of having a car just go so fast, and it's what we all dream about doing if you enjoy driving, having a road completely to yourself and you get to drive it as fast as you can.
Aggressive, smooth, committed. I think there are three key words on your website that are used to describe you, perhaps in a professional motorsport sense. But is it indicative of Emma Gilmour away from the car too?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I suppose, it's the same when I'm running my business or something. If something's not right, fix it, and I suppose that can be seen. I don't think aggressive is the right word for that kind of scenario, but, that whole, there's no point in complaining about something, change your actions, make something happen so that, you can resolve what needs to be resolved. And I think that's the thing with motorsport is you have to be in that moment and you always have to be thinking forward. It doesn't matter if you've stuffed up that corner behind you, all you've got is what's in front of you now. So you've always got to have that sort of forward-thinking mentality.
People will probably be interested in what you do away from the professional motorsport arena. I know you studied at the University of Otago, but just talk about, you said about your business there a moment ago. What do you do away from competition?
So I own a car dealership. So I have Gilmour Motors Suzuki in Dunedin. Very proud to be a Suzuki dealership. So and really that came about through my motorsport relations, really. So I rallied with Suzuki back in 2004, I think it was, and that sort of started the relationship. And then opportunity came up to get the franchise in 2010, and my parents already had an existing car dealership, so we kind of started alongside that, and then ended up buying my parents out and bought out my ex-partner, and I run it on my own now.
Terrific. So in the 20 plus years of, I think your first rally was back in 2002, if I've done my little bit of homework all right. Have there been lessons in a competitive sense that have perhaps translated to businesses as well?
Oh, I think they go hand in hand. I started rallying in 99 as a co-driver and in 2002 as a driver. And, to be able to race for as long as I have, with such wonderful sponsorships. I have really long sponsorships with Vantage Windows and Doors and with Suzuki, and, relationships before that with Subaru as well. It's all about relationships and doing what you say you're going to do. And, they're part of your team, and you have to treat people with respect and all those sorts of things. So all of those things you learn in running a rally team, it crosses over into running a business as well.
We've all had lots of challenges in the past 18 months or so, thanks to the pandemic. What about from a competition standpoint? You and I got to catch up at Jack's Ridge. Did you enjoy that event? And talk about the sort of immediate goals on the horizon as far as motorsport is concerned for you.
Yeah, I mean, Jack's Ridge was a brilliant event. Absolutely loved it. Any event like that where you've got the spectators right there watching the action and having that real involvement is always a real buzz to compete at. And it was such a professional, well-run event with great TV coverage. It was really a shot on the arm for the sport, I think. So it was so good to see, and hats off to the guys and girls that made that happen. So for us, our New Zealand Championship has been a bit of a fizzer, unfortunately, with a few mechanical issues at the events, but we are maybe popping overseas in the next little while, and then hopefully come back and maybe compete in Jack's Ridge later in the year.
Fantastic. We look forward to that. There's a couple of potential headlines we've got out of this already. Can you shed any more light on because the international thing, I know for you, a personal goal about being, fastest female in that sense has been a very passionate objective, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's something. I mean, I feel really lucky. We're very lucky in New Zealand to do the level of motorsport that we do. And even though it's very expensive to compete at the level we do it, relative to the rest of the world, it's actually quite affordable. We can still sort of do it as privateers with some sponsorship help and that kind of thing. To do what we do in Europe or anywhere else, it would cost 2-3 times, and we wouldn't have the amazing roads that we have either. So, I love competing overseas, but it is just so expensive to do. So I've been lucky that I've had different opportunities that have allowed me to do it. Driving for other teams, but trying to find the funding yourself from New Zealand is pretty tough.
Women in motorsport here in New Zealand, the thing that I've been as an outsider kind of looking in massively impressed with, even coming just from some endurance racing at the weekend at Pukekohe, is the roles that so many of them have in all different facets of the game. They play some very important roles in our sport in this country. I know that's something that you're big on too, inspiring in that way, but also just the inclusivity of it, because I think that's a huge thing for motorsport in this part of the world, that it doesn't sort of really matter whether you're male or female. It's enormously inclusive in that regard, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think New Zealand has it very right compared to some of the other countries that I've competed in. We are just inclusive and very well respected by the men that we compete against or work alongside, be it in the teams or officials. And I think even in the last 20 years from when I first started as a co-driver, being a female co-driver, it was definitely a bit more of a minority back then. But now there's a huge amount of females competing. Drivers, co-drivers, and then plus all the officials, and that it's just it's not anything special now, which is great, because that's what we're wanting, and we're wanting that next generation to come through. That it's not even really a topic to talk about. We're just there competing.
Womeninmotorsport.co.nz is the place that viewers watching our chat here can go to find out a bit more about it. What kind of things in that regard? Oh, I love this. Tell me about this. We've got a special guest that's just wandered through. Come on, this is the beauty of these when we're just impromptu sort of catch up with people. Come on, tell us a bit more.
This is Millie, and she's feeling very left out. For anyone that follows me on social media, this is Stalker Cat. She jumps up on my shower dome every morning because it's nice and warm up there. And she thinks that it's a good time to have cuddles when I'm trying to.
She's not happy about me talking to you and taking you away from her. That's probably the key thing. In wrapping up this thread or this topic of conversation, what sort of things as we move forward here in the next kind of 12 months to sort of 5 years in that whole sphere of women in motorsport here in New Zealand, what sort of things would you like to see us take aim at and perhaps achieve?
That's a great question. I think keep doing what we're doing. I think the profile that Women in Motorsport New Zealand is focusing on is great, because it's celebrating the women that are already there, which they're role models for that next generation coming through. As we always say, kids have to be able to see it to be it, and if we've got those great role models there, then it will just keep building that momentum. So yeah, I think it's a case of keeping up the great work that we're doing, and social media lends itself so well to that. So it's it's a great opportunity.
You enjoy that side of things, social media?
Strange. Like, I mean, when I think of when I started in motorsport to what it is now, you used to have the motoring magazines, you used to have, your Speed Sport, which was an amazing magazine, and you'd know exactly what all of the different bits of motorsport were up to. As in now, you sort of follow what you know. So I find it's a good thing, because you can really, become and grow your profile, but it's also, you need to get to the people that don't even know about you. Like it's an interesting thing, the whole way media has changed.
Most definitely, and it lets them into your life a little bit. You've shared a bit of that with us in this chat, from both business to motorsport, and maybe a couple of things that are on the horizon in a competitive sense too, which we're really excited about for you. Thank you very, very much for talking to us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There you are, Emma Gilmour, and you can find out more by going to Emma's website. The word she used a moment ago, which is a great one to conclude things, is role model, and she's very much that here for motorsport in this part of the world. So go to womeninmotorsport.co.nz, and we will have another special guest here on the Motorsport New Zealand Facebook page and socials real soon. Bye for now.